All right, well, thank you all very much. Good morning. I'm at-large council member Anita Bonds, chairperson of the Committee on Housing and Executive Administration. The time is 10:05 a.m. on Friday, October 21, 2022. This is an additional meeting of the committee. It's being held virtually by Zoom, and is also streaming live to the committee's YouTube channel, HEA Committee. I'm calling to order this additional meeting of the committee to mark up the following measures.
Right, Councilmember, we're still waiting on Councilmember Pinto.
All right.
Just a few minutes behind.
Okay. You have to tell me when to go.
I know.
When I hear the sound that says the recording, that's in my signal that we can start. Okay.
Yes, they just sent the email. She's just a few minutes.
Okay. Thank you. How are you today?
Good, really good.
Excellent, excellent.
I was not enjoying all the frost on the windows and how cold it was this morning. I wasn't prepared for how quick winter hit.
Yeah, it's almost like we're going from summer to winter, you know? When I was a kid, we talked about something called Princess Summer, Fall, Winter, Spring, related to the seasons. Hi, council member, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Good morning, council member.
I guess there'll be an opportunity, Kenyon, when we will have something, we'll do something together.
In terms of
well, I mean, we're both out in the community.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
I am actively in the community these days. Yep. And it's I had trouble hearing at first. I had to log out because I couldn't my audio. I couldn't hear you all's voice at first. So I'm not sure what's going on my computer. My IT has been a little shaky these days.
Well, thank you for joining us this morning, and we'll get started, I think, momentarily.
Okay, I'll be on mute.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Amanda, I see Councilmember Pinto.
Yes, so I think we can begin then.
Soon as her connection is stable, probably.
I'm here.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your patience. Sorry about that.
Happy to have you. Thank you. So can I start, Amanda?
Yes, you're good to start.
All right. Well, good morning. I'm at-large Councilmember Anita Bonds, Chairperson of the Committee on Housing and Executive Administration. The time is 10:10 a.m. on Friday, October 21, 2022. This additional committee meeting, which is being held virtually via Zoom, is also streaming live on the committee's YouTube channel, HEA Committee. I'm calling to order the additional meeting to mark up the following measures. Bill 24-653, period equity writing and injustice of the district residents, commonly referred to as Period Act of 2022. Bill 24-430, the Limited Equity Cooperative Advisory Council Act of 2021, and Bill 24-431, the Limited Equity Cooperative Property Tax Assistance Amendment Act of 2021. We will first consider the Period Act, and then we will move to the other two measures in the meeting today. The Period Act, Bill 24-653, was introduced by Council Members Pinto, along with Louis George, Trayon White, Charles Allen, Robert White, Christina Henderson, Vincent Gray, Alyssa Silverman, Brianne Nadeau, Mary Shea, Kenyon McDuffie, and myself on February 2, 2022. The committee held a public hearing on the bill on October 11th, 2022. This legislation would require the provision of free period products in district buildings and government operated spaces to alleviate the burden of period poverty and protect the dignity of all administrating people. First, this bill would require that the district agencies provide free period products and bathrooms of all government operated buildings, as well as government-owned buildings being leased by private entities. Second, it would require entities that have been awarded human care agreements with the district, including shelters and congregate care facilities, to provide free period products to visitors and clients. Third, it would require that entities provide a dispenser with free period products in all women's and gender-neutral bathrooms. No gender-neutral bathrooms. If that is not available, they must provide period products in at least one men's bathroom and provide a sign in other men's bathrooms indicating where period products are located. Finally, it would meet the various needs of administrating individuals by making both tampons and pads available. The inability to access period products can create serious health consequences. Women, transgender men, and non-binary people who lack access to menstrual products are more likely to reuse products or use products for too long, putting those individuals at higher risk for infection and other conditions that require medical care. This bill would reduce these medical risks for district residents and visitors by providing free period products in public buildings and facilities serving vulnerable populations. Creating access to these products would help our most vulnerable populations face one less barrier to ensuring that their basic needs are met and bringing us one step closer to addressing the period inequity in our city. At the committee's public hearing, we received overwhelming support for the bill and heard many similar distressing stories highlighting the shared experience of period equity by menstruators and allies. Improving access to period products does important work in addressing period poverty and normalizing the stigmatization of periods. Passing the Period Act contributes to a powerful message and is a critical step in the fight for menstrual dignity, bodily autonomy, and human rights. Based upon the public testimony, the original bill has been expanded to stipulate that products containing organic materials will meet the requirements of this bill. At this time, I'd like to acknowledge my colleagues, Councilmember Kenyon McDuffie and Councilmember Brooke Pinto, and see if there's any discussion. Councilmember Pinto.
Thank you so much, Chairwoman Bonds. I just want to thank you for holding this hearing and moving forward on this important bill today. It's something that we've been discussing throughout the year and is a really important step to ensuring that all people who menstruate have access to basic dignity for these products. As we've discussed at the hearing, we all go into public spaces, into public restrooms, and expect to have access to toilet paper for free. And so the same should be true for period products. And I'm really thrilled that we're moving forward on this today. I do want to echo what you said around the additions that have been made, which is another really important example of how impactful testimony is from the public, because we heard from many of our public witnesses about concerns of toxins entering the body through certain of these products, as well as sustainability concerns. And so additions have been made to ensure that things like fragrances that can be really toxic to the body will not be able to be included, nor will the use of plastics or synthetic fibers. And so we're hoping that this bill and the procurement is also done in a sustainable way and a healthy way. So thank you very much for moving forward on this bill today, and for everybody who's been a part of this process. I'm really enthusiastic to vote yes on this bill out of committee today. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Anyone else? All right. Without objection, I will move the committee report in print for Bill 24-653 with leave for staff to make technical and conforming changes. And I'll ask now, all those in favor signify with the sign of aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right. I will report a unanimous support for this bill. The next measure is the Limited Equity Cooperative Advisory Council Act of 2021. Bill 24-430 was introduced on October 4, 2021 by myself along with colleagues, Council Members Pinto, Henderson Shea, Nadeau, and Robert White. Limited equity co-ops have the same structure as traditional co-op buildings, which are collectively owned by the residents. However, LECs offer low to moderate income home buyers a below market buy-in and restrict the profit that the residents can make from resale, ensuring that the units remain affordable into perpetuity. This makes LECs an excellent and affordable option for low-income and first-time home buyers. The district has supported the creation of LECs for over 40 years and currently has over 4,000 units in almost 100 buildings. The LEC Advisory Commission Act would make a permanent version of the LEC Task Force, which I introduced, and it was established by an act of the council in the spring of 2018 to make recommendations to the council and to the district government related to how the district can help stabilize, strengthen, and preserve existing LECs, and how the district can best support the formation of new LECs. The original task force expired in October 2019 upon the submission of its final report, which included a set of 16 recommendations to nurture the preservation and development of LECs. The report itself can be found on the website of the Department of Housing and Community Development, DHCD. The task force made recommendations that fell into three categories: policy, administrative, and financing. The task force was in full agreement that any efforts to support LECs must, 1, preserve existing cooperatives, 2, encourage more conversations through the Tenant Opportunity to Purchase Act, TOPA, and strengthen the cooperative ecosystem. The establishment of a permanent limited equity cooperative advisory council will ensure that policymakers in the district remain well-equipped to pass legislation that supports and expands this important model of affordable home ownership. I'll ask at this time if my colleagues care to make remarks. All right. Hearing none, without objection, I will move the committee report in print for Bill 24-430 with leave for staff to make technical and conforming changes. All those in favor, would you signify with the sign of aye? Aye. Okay, I will report a unanimous vote from our committee this morning. The final version is the Limited Equity Cooperative Property Tax Assistance Amendment Act of 2021. The third bill on our agenda will really implement the first recommendation of the 2019 task force report. The bill was introduced on October 4, 2021, again by myself, along with colleagues, Councilmember Pinto, Henderson, Shea, Nadeau, and Robert White. This bill would make the existing property abatement that LECs receive permanent for those LEC members whose household income is less than 80% median family income and who reside in limited equity co-ops where at least 50% of the households are eligible. The current DC code provides a 5-year property tax abatement to benefit eligible LECs. However, when the 5-year period ends, the cost to the LECs increases and the LECs inevitably face a setback. The 2019 task force report notes that LECs currently provide affordable housing to low and extremely low income families without the support of ongoing subsidies or vouchers. By providing a permanent property tax abatement to qualifying LECs, this bill will help preserve this critical model for affordable home ownership. Providing a permanent property tax abatement for community institutions such as the LECs is not an unprecedented concept for the district. DC law has historically provided ongoing property tax abatements for a variety of charitable, religious, and educational organizations that serve the community. Passing this bill is an essential step for preserving our existing LECs, supporting the development of new LECs, and expanding opportunities for affordable ownership in the district. I'll pause here and see if there's any discussion. All right, without objection, I will move the committee report in print for Bill 24-431 with leave for staff to make technical and conforming changes.
I'm sorry, Chairman
Yes.
Bond, I just have a quick comment
All right, sure, please.
or a question. Thank you. So the LEC tax assistant amendment play a really important role in the constellation of affordable housing infrastructure and supports in our city. And I'm confident and hopeful that this bill is going to help expand the availability of LECs throughout the city. I did want to note that the racial equity impact analysis issued by the Council's Office of Racial Equity indicated some concern that the bill's change in definition of LECs might have some unintended consequences. And so I just wanted to flag that I look forward to work with you and our colleagues to look into this concern and make sure that this tax assistance and future tax assistance is structured to best fulfill our goal of maintaining affordability. But I'm looking forward to supporting this bill today and continuing that conversation.
Well, thank you very much. Again, I will return to, if we're ready to vote, all those in favor, if you would signify with the sign of aye.
Aye.
Okay, the measure passes, and I will report a unanimous vote from the committee this morning. This concludes today's additional committee meeting. With that, the time is now 10:26 a.m. Same day we started, and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very, very